Nepal, stretching only 650 kilometers long and 200 kilometers wide, has remained landlocked between India and China since its formation in 1768 by the Gorkha nobleman Prithvi Narayan Shah. Although the surrounding Himalayas offered the protection and preservation that allowed Nepal to remain a monarchy ruled by a dynasty of kings all throughout the modern era and up to its revolutionary civil war in 2008, Nepal's religious affiliations, a mix of Hinduism and Buddhism, and caste system are a reflection of the influence on Nepal by India's Hindu-based society. In Nepal's agrarian society, Hinduism played an extremely influential role in Nepal's social structure. A fundamental concept of Hinduism is that of dharma, the natural law and social and religious obligations it imposes. The Dharma holds that individuals must play their proper role in society as determined by their socioeconomic status, also known as a caste system. As dictated by religious doctrine and as a result of the social inequality imposed by the caste system, a gender gap existed in Nepal. Women were unequal to men. Women were considered property, handed down from their fathers to their husbands. Sati Pratha, where the wife must be burned alive on her husband's funeral pyre, treated the widow figure as a bringer of bad luck and a danger to the community. Verse 10:18:7 of the Vedas, a body of hymns which form the theology and philosophical concepts of Hinduism, that states,
"Let these wives first step into the pyre, tearless, without any affliction, and well adorned."
In the early 19th century, Ram Mohan Roy, like a few before him, argued that the practice of sati was not part of Hinduism because he considered it suicide, a practice banned by the Vedas. During this time period, the practice of sati dissolved. Instead, when wives widowed and became a sexual being no longer under the control of a father or husband, she was constrained by measures. She had to sleep on the floor and was banned from public ceremonies and from talking to men. She had to only eat vegetarian food, and she could not wear colorful clothes or jewelry. Many women who were given nose rings as a child had to remove them or else suffer more social harassment. Tej is a celebration for married women to pray for their husbands and married lives, furthering the social rejection toward unmarried women. The use of fashion in Nepal as a form of segregation has proved very effective. Because these women are excluded, during Tej, while married women dress up in red pashminas, a type of wool garment, and adorn themselves with jewelry, usually glass beads, unmarried women stand out from society even more prominently and are subject to even more harassment. While unmarried women are subject to the most discrimination, all Nepalese women are considered inferior. Another section of the Vedas describes a ritual known as Punsawan Sanskar, performed during the third month of pregnancy that involves prayer for male sons.
Almighty God, you have created this womb. Women may be born somewhere else, but sons should be born from this womb.
Female infants, although necessary for the continuation of the human race, are deemed unwanted in any Nepalese household. The Rig Veda, the oldest of the four Vedas, and which could be found in the form of an illuminated manuscript, states that
Lord Indra himself has said that women had very little intelligence and cannot be taught.
Mandalas, a Buddhist art form made from colorful sand and usually portraying geometrical patterns, assists with the practice of meditation. The creation of mandalas reflects Nepal's ability to quell rebellion. Instead of teaching revolution, Nepalese religion preaches submission and tranquility. Instead of expressing one's hatred, the individual would focus their energy on the creation of a mandala. Then, after the mandala was created, it would be destroyed in order to teach its maker the unavoidable pains of suffering and loss. In Nepal, religious doctrines, such as the Vedas, were enforced by the monarchy. During the modern era and continuing into contemporary society, religion was, and still is, to an extent, the law. In Nepal, women are just beginning to break out of their societal roles to do more with their lives than serve their husbands. Tibetan nun Ani Choying Dalma is an unmarried singer who travels. More women like Ani are starting to have careers outside of the home, but Nepal still has a long way to go before the status of women is equal to that of India and China. Nepal's caste system, as well as its social and gender inequality that has been present for centuries, has ultimately led to its success. It has permitted Nepal to remain organized because it has allowed its citizens to be born with a predestined role and obligations to the nation. Although the government of Nepal is currently making an effort to promote equality and reform social standards, the caste system and social inequality have allowed Nepal to thrive and be the nation that it is today.